Doing what it needs to do. Perfect world, it's going to work. Doesn't matter if it doesn't. Geez, I'm glad I picked that up. Oh dear. All right. That is doing what it needs to do, which is fantastic. All right, so we'll get this. All right, so that is good to rock and roll, guys and girls. So I hope you are fantastic. And now let me grab my little Zoom. Let me grab that little Zoom. I'll turn that on for us. We've got sound. We're going to share that. And we are good to go. Yes, we are good to go. All right, so guys and girls, I hope you're absolutely fantastic. So let me just, again, double checking technology. Yes, we do have a couple of earthquakes here. Yes. So yes, guys and girls, we've had an 8.7 magnitude earthquake go off, guys. It's actually in Russian. It's actually in Russian territory, right next door to one of the most northern islands in Japan. So it did trigger lots of concern. And lots of tsunami warnings, and mobile phones went absolutely crazy, and so on and so forth. However, as we have managed to navigate out of that very, very carefully and easily, just standard protocol. Should be, it's telling me it's up and racing here, young MJ. Now it might, again, it's showing me live. So that's the best I can do. It will be delayed. It will be time delayed. It always is. Yeah, Lee up near Hokkaido, 100% correct. Yeah, 100% correct. Now, guys and girls, what we're going to do is going to start on the we'll start on the NASDAQ. A couple of things about the NASDAQ that I do want to point out is we have got a couple of really, really key levels here. We've got this little previous pivot. It's that little previous pivot right there. We've obviously just gone climactic straight into the previous pivot. Just be aware that because that climactic candle has got no strength rating underneath it, because it's got no strength underneath it, that they're automatically going to almost turn immediately and reverse. That's exactly what they've done. So some of you may be eyeing off, guys, a static bar reversal there. So you've got that minus 24 related, sorry, I should say minus 24 rated SBR there. Super strong. Slightly more advanced traders, as you would be short because they've basically failed at the previous pivot. So if you are short on that one, your volatility at this point in time, as your volatility over here would suggest a 10-tick target, very, very easy to get, or a 10-tick risk control point with longer range targets. As if you are short on the NASDAQ already, because some of you do trade the European pre-market, mathematically, that's an absolutely perfect signal. Okay, it's primarily because we've got an extreme volume rating on this particular candle here. Right now, what does it mean? As it draws our attention to this 150% Fibonacci extension here. So that's where they basically cruise through. Now, I drew the extension on earlier. Guys, note this 141.4 fib extension failure here. Then down here, you've got a 133 fib. So I reckon at this point in time, guys, if the NASDAQ wants to get a wriggle on, it's going to go straight down to this 100% extension, guys. So minus some loose change, you're looking at a target of 23488, right? So 23488, or around about that price point. Now, further to that, guys, on the NASDAQ, as if we do get up here, we've got an interesting little sort of scenario. You've got a large combination of Fibonacci's up the top here. They've all been honored perfectly. Yeah, Mark, that's because I'm actually running the Gen 7 indicators, whereas you're running Gen 6. So that's a very good point, guys. The mathematics behind my indicators, no, it's a great point. So interesting little learning here. Because the market volatility, guys, has dropped, okay, what we can do is we can actually modify the indicators to adapt to volatility, right? So those that are already on the Samurai indicators, you're on generation 6, whereas I'm running Gen 7s. What does it ultimately mean? It'll get to the point where the indicators will automatically adjust to volatility, right? So mine are already adjusted. What does it ultimately mean, guys? If you see numbers on my screen that are slightly different to yours, that's because I'm running a slightly upgraded version of mathematics. Now, I find that really, really exciting. Because if I get a 4 or a 5 rated candle like we did yesterday, guys, they're absolutely phenomenal. So you find the indicators are a little bit more sensitive, and that's being done very, very much on purpose. So I'll update a little bit more, Mark, in the hub meeting tomorrow night, and tell you where we're going. That includes all of your OSR stuff. We're also fine tuning. So, is what we got down here for the NASDAQ traders. If we do get a sell down, guys, we've got a 240 high down here. It's a beautiful 4-hour static bar reversal long. Guys, this will ultimately be a very, very key turning point in the market today. Guys, so a couple of turning points. I'll put some arrows on them for you as we do our NASDAQ. Guys, if we close above the previous pivot, naturally that's going to bring buyers. If we move up here to this yellow box and we don't move through it easily, guys are going to pick up some really, really lovely sells. Now, if the Europeans were to sell down, guys, if we get below that 240 high, absolutely brilliant. We're going to probably drop to the 100. But if we get below that, guys, we're looking at a fairly cool little drop down here to the 50 fib of the day. All right, so don't forget 50 fib of the day, guys. Very, very heavy price magnet. So if the Europeans do decide, guys, if the Europeans do decide to fall, which it looks very much like they're going to do that. If the Europeans do decide to fall, then we're looking at long-range short targets, guys, on the NASDAQ. If you are going to be buying, guys, the NASDAQ, again, we can go for long targets, but we simply want to do tight risk control until we know that the market actually has a decent personality about it. Once we've got a decent personality, guys, then we know what they're ultimately doing. Now, my comment, guys, on my bias on the NASDAQ today, if we fail to buy strong, I want you to look for shorts, and ideally, guys, we want them to fail early. So ideally in the first 15 minutes. If they fail on the opening candle and come back down, that would be amazing, because that gives us a very, very early indication that the sellers are going to take control. That gives us a very easy session. Guys, if we basically start mucking around for the first 15 minutes and have no really defined direction in the market, that's when the session starts to get a little bit more technical. So today, I think, guys, our volatility is down. Our volume is okay. I'd suggest we're going to be handing over to the Europeans to say, hey, what would you guys like to do? All right, now, down here, guys, S&P, all right, lots and lots and lots of stuff on the S&P 500. So let me break this up for you a little bit. Guys, I'll move these across so everybody knows exactly what we're doing when we get into it. So up here, guys, we've got a little cluster of really, really lovely Fibonacci's. So that box can actually be extended a little bit higher. That's basically a really, really lovely sell zone. Whereas if we get above that, it's going to be amazing to the high side. If we get up into there and fail, particularly that green 50 Fibonacci, guys, is a really, really lovely point. If they shoot up and fail there, for the slightly more advanced traders, you could be looking for a single touch reversal style trade. Okay, now, both US markets, guys, we've got to understand both US markets are clearly in 4-hour swing trigger longs. Now, this ultimately means two things. Typically, the US markets are going to buy for another 8 hours. However, if the buying is not sustained very, very early on in the European Open, like it was yesterday, they took about 15 to 20 minutes to take off, and then they just started grinding. If we face the opposite today, where they buy the market pretty quickly and then they fail, guys, that 4-hour swing trigger long, guys, we're in a 4-hour swing trigger long. Guys, thank you, MJ. Perfect, mate. Appreciate that. 4-hour swing trigger long, guys. Normally what can happen if those guys don't buy for the next 8 hours and it becomes absolutely amazing, guys, we could actually see a push through. So we get a higher high on the 4-hour chart. Then we start to see them struggling. We end up in a really, really nice short, right? So we are already, guys, coming into the session. We're already into a 4-hour static bar reversal long. Okay, if the Europeans sell down and they can't sell below this level here, guys, then that 100% extension. If they can't sell below that, we're going to get a really lovely little buy. We're basically going to end up channel trading, guys, between these levels. Geez, very much so. Very, very much so. So, guys, if we pull down here and we fail down here, then we're just going to basically channel trade all day, and that will be, guys, that will be really, really good for double touch reversals, and similar, guys, and similar. Note, guys, a significant lack of deltas at the moment. So what that means, for those that are not aware, these are delta trades that are cruising around on the charts. So for the S&P today, guys, if we do get a delta V2, it means there is institutional interest in what is going on. So please be aware that the only delta trades we got on S&P 500 yesterday flew to profit. Most absolutely flew to profit. I'm personally really excited by that, guys, because if we pick up a signal that we kind of like the look of, and then we get a delta over the top, well, you know that the institutions are agreeing with what you're doing. So it's a way of you basically saying, hey, listen, I'm pretty happy with the direction I'm trading. If Europe Europe looks really angry, guys. That's how I look at it right now, technical trading term. If Europe was to sell down, guys, and sell down quite drastically, there's an absolutely incredible buy point down here for the S&P 500 traders. So this is a congestion zone off all of the larger charts. If we get much below this yellow rectangle, guys, on S&P 500, we're looking at a really, really heavy drop. Okay, now that may be because there's an anticipation tonight that the US job figures that are coming out are going to be a little bit less than expected. As I personally, I've done about an hour's worth of research into what those jobs figures are going to look like today. And based on what I can see from relatively standard news sources, there's absolutely no way that those jobs figures are going to be negative. I think they're going to be actually really positive, which is going to be quite buoyant. It's quite buoyant for the US markets. All right, so we'll park that one for the moment. Now, in fact, we'll go down to the bottom, guys. Go down to the bottom to the big boys and girls. Okay, whoops, I want this button right here. Time's looking pretty good, guys. Look at this FTAX selling. All right, so what I've noted for everybody is we're going to head into the start of the session, guys. It's going to be quite low volatility. So I just want everybody to be aware that with a low volatility start, again, you want the market to stretch out a long way away from the MDI. For example, here, guys, got a big stretch out a long way away from the MDI. And then it turned around and cruised back, and then it cruised around back the other way. So if we're going to get a really, really lovely sort of reversal style signal, guys, again, we need to get a long way away from the MDI, then turn around and come back for the reversals. So just watch as we start. It's like these Germans, man, they're angry. They're just selling and selling and selling. All right, now, a couple of points here, guys. Low volatility start, so we know to adjust our risk control points accordingly. European gaps, guys, to close down from yesterday. So these guys might be in the mood to close gaps. Guys, please be aware that the FESX has already closed its gap in the pre-market. So can anybody tell me, guys, from the trading room, exactly what does that normally mean? Guys, what does this normally mean? It normally means something very, very clear, very precise. They normally do it maybe one day a week, and they've done it for us today. So I'd love to know what you think about that one. So tell me what you think, guys. Tell me what you think. For those in the LTR, much easier for me to see than those that are on YouTube. Man, this FTAX is just tumbling. Yes, MJ is on the money. All right, so we'll just see what other answers we get. Guys, S&P volume 30,000, German red flag news at 5 p.m. Guys, interesting point. All of the Australian financial figures today were negative. So if you have a mortgage in Australia, it's now highly, highly, highly likely that you're going to get an interest rate cut in August. It would be a very, very strange thing to do if they didn't do that for you. So red flag US news, guys, 9:15 and 9:30 Tokyo tonight. That is something to definitely be trading, guys, if you are red flag news traders. So tonight, guys, I'll be in the virtual LTR tinkering along at 8 o'clock, guys, probably around about 8 o'clock, depending on how I go with the boys' English homework. But certainly, guys, from 9 o'clock, because those news announcements are normally really exciting to watch. They're also very easy to trade. All right, now, guys, please note that the FESX is opened in a 60-minute long, not a 4-hour long. Now, for those of you that have been around for a while, it's the 4-hour long we've got to be really, really careful of, guys, if we're going to be shorting the FDAX. All right, now, we had one of those yesterday, guys, and we saw the result was absolutely amazing. So therefore, we've got to be a little bit aware of that today, right? Because it's about 10 and a half minutes, guys, until the gun goes. Now, for the FTAX traders, guys, this is the selling that I'm talking about. This is pretty strong, guys. In fact, very, very strong. I would suggest they're probably going to try and close, guys. I would suggest they're probably going to try and close the gap, guys, which is only just down to here. They're probably going to try and close the gap in the pre-market. All right, so a couple of little notes. There's our little gap there. If we close it in the pre-market, guys, normally only happens once a week. MJ is on the money, guys. Normally, if we close the gap in the pre-market, we're in for a very, very unexpected, very large move. Okay, so that's normally what they do to us. Guys, there'd be a lot of people looking at the volatility of the market right now. okay, saying, I don't think I can be bothered trading, might go to the cafe. They come back and find out there's 40, 50 point candles. Right? So we are very, very close. In fact, that is a technical close, as it's already a technical close on the gap. Okay, now a couple of things to think about. Guys, the purple fib, short range Fibonacci's, we've cruised up and we've already failed at the evil twins. These static bar reversals here, you've got a 6 rated static bar reversal short there. Insane reversal signal. Guys, you've got a -69 rated candle there, which is just ridiculously strong. What's occurred? The sellers have marched into the market. We've already sold down. It looks like around 40 to 50 points already. 40 to 50 points already. So if you do want to trade, guys, if you do want to trade the pre-market, okay, if you do want to trade the pre-market, literally just identify who owns the step, identify the ratio, identify the failure point, and then obviously that has produced an absolutely incredible rundown. At the moment, guys, the buyers still own the stair step on the FTX 5-minute chart. So we're looking for selling-based reversals. What does that ultimately mean? If the market was to push up very, very heavily, guys, there'd be quite a few of them. But again, there's that little red static bar reversal there. There's this little red static bar reversal there. There's a delta V2 underneath these candles. Guys, they're all valid sell signals. Now, if you don't trade the pre-market, guys, if you don't trade the pre-market, what you're looking, and FTX has now closed its gap, guys, what you're looking for is the buyers to push up. Okay, we want to hit extreme volume, guys. We want to fail at Fibonacci, and then we're looking for a short. Right? These guys look very angry. Very, very angry. So a couple of things, guys, again, as we head into the cash market, this is obviously the pre-market. 363 is an absolutely stunning short. Now, fancy that. Guess what they're selling off, guys? They're already selling off. Andy, how are you? They're already selling off 363. Guys, now, 24316, okay, is a 4-hour swing trigger long. Guys, so again, these guys look really desperate, as in they look really angry. so we may be in a situation where these guys completely tank. Now, guys, very much in flavor of what Cody does, guys. If we start pushing the pre-market bottom, okay, very close, guys, very close to the actual open. Unless the leading candle is a climactic extreme volume candle, we are going to probably shy away from a pre-bottom reversal long, guys, and probably look at a more institutional pivot, guys, like the previous pivot just here. Okay. Now, what I can do, guys, at this point in time, okay, I can get rid of the purple Fibonacci's because that has worked incredibly in the pre-market. What I'm going to do is run my Fibonacci back the other way because we may, I'm just going to go purple, guys. It's a little bit easier. It's a little bit easier on the eyes. It's a little bit easier on the eyes, a little bit less offensive, so to speak. If we were to sell down, guys, and I note the previous pivot is tagging these fibs down here. So if we were to sell down, this candle was to go climactic, but they don't go low enough. If they don't go low enough to pick up a previous pivot style reversal, you've got this little 103. Holy moly. So you've got a 103 rated signal. That's incredible. So the sensitivity, guys, of, again, for those that have just logged in, and let me grab some microphones while I'm doing it. For those that have logged in, guys, my indicators are slightly more sensitive. Okay, they're a Gen 6, Gen 7 indicator. So slightly more sensitive than you guys. I'm going to finalize a couple of more little fine tunings for you guys, and then we're going to send them out to everybody. So you've got exactly the same sensitivities we do. What would be amazing, guys, in time, young Tim's with us, is what would be amazing in time is if the indicators actually adjust to volatility. I say literally automatically adjust to volatility. Most of them do anyway, guys. Most of them do anyway. It would be amazing if we could take that a little bit further. But that is, just so you guys know, that is a massive project. And while the indicators are producing really good trades, guys, we tend not to muck around with them because they're producing great trades. Now, a couple of things for the FTX traders, guys. If we hold above 308, guys, 308, we're going to have a buying bias in the market. I'm going to put that around about the 308 level. So if we're going to hold it, the guys hold above 308, we're looking for buys. If we hold below 308. We're looking for a sell. As if we do sell down, we might go as low as 24392, right? That'll be 24292, 24192. Hold on, 24192. Slight typo. So let me fix that for you. We've also got a sell target, guys, which is right down the bottom of the chart. If these guys get a serious wriggle on, we've got a sell target of 24145, which is obviously a very, very long way to the downside. Right now, with just under 4 minutes, guys, just under 4 minutes to go, I do want to draw your attention firstly to the 60-minute charts. Right, so firstly to the 60-minute charts. So again, look at this, boom, boom, buy zone, the stair step. Nice. That means that this down here, this is something I forgot to do yesterday. Guys, 264 is a 60-minute short, right? 264 is a 60-minute short. So how would we ideally take advantage of that? Guys, if the buyers were to buy up a little bit aggressively on open, we were to pick up a standard sell signal that we normally get, and then they were to run down. Guys, we're looking to try and break down through these 88.6 Fibonacci's, right, as a 60-minute SBR short. Guys, we're looking to break down through those Fibonacci's and absolutely bolt. Now, as I would not put an order on at 262. I think they're looking very, very dangerous personally to have a crack at it. I wouldn't put an order on at 262 at this point in time because you're going to be carrying a little bit too much risk. What I would prefer you do, guys, I'll put another Fibonacci on here. What I would prefer you do is I would prefer that we wait for the market to buy. That turns around, comes back the other way. Then we pick up a valid short as per our standard 5-minute chart strategy. And that valid short then runs into a 60-minute short. And if we do that, guys, we're going to try and trade it down to 24,200. I say 24,200 would be a great spot to go for. Okay, so we'll bring it back on. That's what I'm going to do. Just expand my charts out, fatten the candles. Again, guys, these guys would have to give us a climactic candle leading into open, of course. So my trade, guys, a really, really good little trade. G'day, Ken, how are you? Guys, a really good little trade. If we do sell down on the FDAX, guys, go climactic on the previous pivot here. We can stick down here, provided we don't bolt to the downside. That little static bar reversal long, guys, it's going to be pretty obvious on the chart. That little SBR is going to be quite good. For the Fibonacci extension traders who love a Fibonacci extension in order to try and get even more, guys, even more. So the evidence as to what they might be thinking, we know about the magic numbers on the FDAX. Let me just clean up my little NASDAQ here. So NASDAQ, we'll just keep this nice and fat, guys. I'll let the comments run off the side so we don't have to look at those. S&P 500, we'll move some comments away here. I believe everybody is appropriately briefed. As we are going to have to keep an eye on, guys, we will keep an eye on Europeans. And one thing, guys, one thing I do want to highlight to everybody, guys, is if we do pick up dual signals, so S&P 500 to NASDAQ and FESX to FDAX, guys, if we do pick up the dual signals, please be aware that they will be undoubtedly the highest probability signals. One thing for the S&P traders, those that really know what they're doing, there's 1 minute and 15 seconds to go. If we sell down here, guys, this little band of static bar reversals just here, so around about that 61.8 Fibonacci level, so 6410-ish, I want you guys to just keep an eye on those SBRs, all right, because they could be good fun. So what I'll do, guys, I'll do my best to navigate the market as best as I possibly can. Mics are on. Should anybody need to throw a comment in? As at this stage, we are climactic on the 15-minute FDAX. And we're in a 30-minute FDAX short. So if we do sell down, I'm going to keep a very close eye, guys, on that FDAX static bar reversal. Okay, they would need to sell down well below, guys, well below that SBR to get me interested. Guys, we had a good day yesterday, so let's do our best. Guys, we'll just follow our plans, do what we normally do. And guys, my number one tip for everybody is don't rush into the market. Just let the market come to you. So we'll let the market open. Okay. It looks like, guys, they've already tagged that 133 fib extension. Now, our opening candle is not climactic, guys, at this point in time. So the FDAX, guys, we're still not climactic on the opening candle. Okay, we're still not climactic on the opening candle. These guys are very, very, very cranky. Okay, very, very, very cranky at this stage. So what we're going to do, guys, we're going to watch the risk. All right, so now they're climactic. If you are an opening candle trader, guys, the only trade we might be setting up with an okay risk is a previous pivot reversal, but I'd just be a little bit careful. Guys, I'd be a little bit careful about how aggressive the FDAX is to the downside here. This is a very, very heavy sell down on open. Okay, so we'll just let them bop along. This is a bop along. We've got too much risk now. It's too much risk for the previous pivot traders. There's absolutely no question about that. What's our little FESX doing? Okay, so FESX is wrestling at its pre-bottom. It's highly likely, guys, the FESX is going to try and touch the 50 of the day. Right, highly likely it's going to touch the 50 of the day. All right, so guys, we were talking about a very, very aggressive start to the market, and because those gaps were closed in the pre-market, have a look at what we've got here. Now, guys, again, if I trade the opening candle, all of these Delta V2s, the selling signals are all valid. Guys, the selling signals are all valid. Again, do I want those signals? At this point in time, as I would let this opening candle close. It's going to give us an idea of what they might be thinking. Again, this is a very heavy sell down. It's not supported by the American markets at this point in time. So again, let's just let them bop along, guys, let them bop along. We may be looking at climactic reversals. We may be looking at climactic reversals for the FDAX. Nice. Now, if that is a climactic reversal, guys, we've just got to watch the risk. The risk might be too much for a number of smaller traders. So we've just got to be very, very careful what they're doing. Okay, so the FDAX is definitely angry, guys. There's no doubt about that. That black diamond delta, for those that trade the FDAX on open, the black diamond delta at 246 is a valid trade, guys, only if you can hold the risk, which is typically over our risk profile. It's a little bit over our risk profile. It is an incredible position to buy the market, though. So we're looking at a 246 entry with standard risk controls. Daniel, it depends on their volume. So if the S&P 500 volume starts increasing quickly, the answer would be yes. If the S&P 500 decides to absolutely tank, then it will take the Europeans with it. There's no doubt about that. Okay. Now for the American-based traders, we're at a very, very key point. This is a 4-hour swing trigger point. If we close below that point, we're going to be looking for some pretty heavy sells. For the FDAX, guys, just be aware that black diamond delta at 246 is a valid buy signal. You will be carrying risk on the trade because you might be better off waiting for this candle to close, looking for a climactic reversal. Now, again, let me just have a quick look. Okay, the Fibonacci they may be running could be coming off that gap. All right, let me just double check that. All right, so I see again, guys. We'll have a look again. So tread very, very carefully today. We do know the markets came into the session very, very angry. If the anger doesn't continue, guys, we might be looking for some really lovely buys. That delta, guys, if you can afford the risk on the delta at 246, guys, 246 on FDAX, your first target is 251. Now, just be aware, guys, just be aware that the risk is over a normal risk profile, right? So the risk is over a normal risk profile. So we've got to be careful with that. We've got to be super careful with, again, getting into a trade simply with too much risk is just not a good idea. Just not a good idea. So we'll just keep an eye on it, guys. Again, a couple of seller push downs there. Obviously, a couple of seller push downs are good fun. What we want is we want the buyers to basically push back up above the previous pivot, and we'll see if we can get a really, really powerful little reversal. The FESX did not touch the 50 fib of the day in the cash market, so that would typically suggest they might try and buy. Guys, they might try and buy. For the DAX traders, if you are long at 246, your first target and risk control point is 251. Guys, 251. Now we've got just shy of 251 now. I see again the risk for the FDAX traders 1, 2, 3, 4 is way beyond our normal risk profile. Right, so just being super diligent today that we don't get into trades that have got too much risk. Now we're back down to the 240 high, guys, for the NASDAQ traders. Again, I would really love the NASDAQ to get a decent distance away from its trend indicator before we look for a really lovely long. Guys, I might strip some detail off this NASDAQ. Guys, that Fibonacci is very good. Okay, FDAX is now, sellers are now coming back in again, which is fine, guys. They're allowed to do that. Okay, now we've got a deep dive, guys, down on the FDAX. If you were looking for a really serious sell down, guys, in order to then buy the market, you would now put your buy order on, because you can start to look at a slightly tighter risk. Traditionally, though, guys, the risk for the FDAX traders is too much. Guys, if you are long on that signal, it's just starting to tease its first target. Guys, it's starting to tease its first target. If the buyers do decide to grab the FDAX, guys, it is likely to go back to the 100%, which is up here. Okay, if the buyers do decide, but they haven't made that decision yet. So we just got to be really careful regarding risk. Now, for everybody else, guys, I'm going to get rid of that larger Fibonacci there. S&P, we're looking at NASDAQ, we're looking at a deeper sell down, guys, a deeper sell down to try and pick up a slightly longer range buy signal. Guys, now I mentioned dual market agreement before. We would definitely need both markets to agree with their Fibonacci. Okay, Andy, you got a 2 and a 5 on the delta. Okay, so well done. Guys, I'm just going to switch these fibs around. Guys, that Fibonacci extension is fine. Okay, just switching fibs to see if we can find, as ideally, if we get a failed sell down in the first 15 minutes, we could be picking up some really lovely buys. 11 o'clock. Is that the Fibonacci you guys are using? Okay, let me just leave that on. Drop this one down. At this stage, FDAX traders, you have to be very aware. I was very aware that we are in a very volatile day. It's very volatile day indeed. What does that mean? Well, guys, we're just going to trade very carefully. Ideally, static bar trades. Here we go. Now we're talking about proper sell downs. So at this stage, that's the 61.8 level we wanted on the S&P 500. So the S&P traders, you are now considering the static bar reversals over here on the left-hand side. The S&P is down to the 50 fib of the day. That's a pretty aggressive little sell down. It's pretty aggressive sell down. So let's just see how we go, guys. Don't take a trade in the last 90 seconds of the candles. Yesterday we were super quiet, and today we are super crazy busy. There is no doubt about that. So I'd suggest, guys, for the FDAX traders at this stage, we've got to keep a very close eye on risk. Guys, we'll keep a very close eye on the OSR as well. A very close eye on risk, very close eye on the OSR. The NASDAQ traders, you are now down to the 50 fib of the day. Right now, at this stage, you have got an S&P 500 that is under the 50 fib of the day. So that may weigh a little bit. May weigh a little bit on the NASDAQ. So for those that are looking for super high probability trades, guys, on the American markets, we're looking for dual market signals, exactly the same signal on both markets simultaneously. For the FDAX at this stage, guys, I'd be a little bit careful about buying the market. Guys, now, if you can hold the risk, the deltas are valid. If you can hold the risk, guys, the deltas are valid. Guys, the key point with holding that risk, is that, again, the deltas, guys, the black diamond deltas are mathematically 100% perfectly valid. You've just got to be a little bit careful carrying the risk of the market today, because obviously the risk is defined by the market. Beautiful trade, guys, from young Fred. Let me just, I'm just going to jump in and grab your name change there. So Fred is in with us, guys, from the US. Mate, that's a beautiful trade. Let me just jump on that for you. Okay, perfect. So, guys, I hope everybody is well. We've obviously got off to a shotgun start in terms of volatility. So we're going to trade very, very carefully today. The Europeans are very angry, second day off the back of the Trump tariff negotiations, and we are going to trade very carefully today. Now, for the NASDAQ traders, guys, we're not looking at a long until the S&P 500 closes over its 50 fib. Once it closes over the 50 fib, we'll keep a very close eye on climactic volume today. Very close eye. As I do that, the NASDAQ has just gone climactic on the 15-minute chart. So therefore, we are looking at reversals long. Guys, on the NASDAQ, it would be great if we got a static bar reversal long on both American markets simultaneously. S&P is also climactic. So for those that use 15-minute chart climactic reversals, you may have already gone long, guys, off the 76 fib or maybe the 88.6, if that is your style. Guys, if you want to, you can turn the indicators on, so the indicators will sound that their climactic volume in the background. All right, so if you're missing the climactic volume, you can go and turn the sound indicator on, so it actually tells you that they're climactic. Steve, you got 31 times 2, 120 times 2, and 2 runners. Very, very well done. So your targets, you've got long range target short, mate, at 23364, 23364. Okay, absolutely brilliant, mate. You're probably short, mate, off that previous pivot, which is a lovely spot to be short. And so again, well done, mate. If that is you. Now for the FDAX traders, so a little bit quieter, just above that, perfect, mate. Just for those of you who are on the FDAX, is what we're ultimately looking for. We're coming in to set the OSR at this stage. So again, I'm looking at this black diamond delta, guys, on my screen at 245. At 245. Now, a key point is that, again, we're not going to take the trade in the last 90 seconds of the candle. As now we spoke, guys, as we came in about the 4-hour charts. Yeah, look at this. Guys, we talked about a 4-hour long, guys. They've created a higher high and failed. These guys could actually roll over into 4-hour shorts. Guys, if that's the case, we've got to be very careful about going long. Now, at this point in time, though, guys, we can't go long on the NASDAQ until the S&P 500 agrees. All right, so at this stage, we're kind of caught waiting to see what goes on. For the FDAX, guys, at this stage, we are not going to get a long signal. Guys, we are not going to get a long signal. If we don't have a higher high, so we don't have a swing trigger, I would suggest at this stage, guys, the best trade for the FDAX, is a very difficult one. Okay, the OSR has been set. Guys, if we were to sell down below the OSR here on the FDAX, right, or tag the OSR or tag that 61.8 fib, guys, for those that trade double failure reversals off Fibonacci, then you guys have just picked up literally a lower low. You've just picked up that tag. Now, if you do want to join them, guys, you can enter outside the range of the active candle. The flip side of joining outside the range is the best entry is that 61.8 Fibonacci there. Okay, that's where ultimately the opening candle has come down and failed. It's established the OSR, which is perfect. If we were to get a black diamond delta long, guys, on this candle, then we would be looking for a long trade. There's no doubt about that. Okay, now, again, we don't have a higher high, guys. So again, there's no swing trigger short here. All we're looking for at this point in time is proof that a team has lost control of the market. It looks like the sellers have lost control. That means some of you may be buying, guys, on the FDAX. Now, if you are buying, guys, even if you're outside the range of the active candle, please use a 5-point risk control point and then try and let long range targets run as far as you can. For the American traders, again, at this point, guys, I want to get over the 50 fib of the day on the S&P 500, and then I'd like to be long, guys, on both American markets simultaneously. If you can hold the risk, FDAX, that delta is valid. You've got a black diamond delta there. That's if you can hold the risk. Fred, well done. You got 5, 10, 20 off the 4 hour. Well done. All right, so Fred's gone long, guys, on the FDAX again. Just be careful of the risk on FDAX, please, guys. It can take one button press here to get into trouble. So if you feel you're missing out, guys, just shade away from the market until you get a really, really lovely one. Andy, you picked up a +10 off the top of the active candle. Well done. That's good. For the American traders, guys, I'm looking for something that we can trade responsibly. I'm actually looking for permission from the S&P 500 to trade the NASDAQ, guys, because with this potential 4-hour trade on, if the buyers don't really concrete their command of the market, the sellers are just going to drill them, guys. There's no question about that. So let's just be a little bit careful. Guys, now for the European-based traders, guys, if the FESX was able to get back inside its pre-bottom, if it was to get back inside its pre-bottom, guys, that is a very big sign that the European markets might try and climb their way back up, as they may try and climb their way back up again. Fred is talking about a potentially different Fibonacci. Okay, let me just double check my fibs. Guys, I'm going to bring it over here and put that up there. Okie doke. No, I can't get a match on that one. Okay, that's all right. That's all right. We will just keep using the pure price movement of the market, guys, and we can build that fib. Just out of interest, Fred, where's your Fibonacci? You said you've got a Fibonacci across the screen. I'd love to know what the number is, as in the price level would be fantastic. Now, at this stage, as we are being very, very careful today. Yesterday, we were careful, but the market was a lot easier for us to trade, a lot easier. For the OSR style traders, guys, OSR is set. The selling candle has sold back down towards the OSR, failed at Fibonacci, and then turned around and gone back the other way. So that would generally suggest if the buyers can get control of the market, they might try and move back to the high side of the OSR. Okay. Right, so let's see what we've got. So we've got 30 seconds till the candle closes. At this stage, guys, the S&P 500 has effectively outstayed this Fibonacci. So what I might do is I might go back to slightly more traditional Fibonacci for the S&P. All right, so what I want, guys, I want valid shorts for both American markets simultaneously. At this stage, guys, if we got a monster selling candle on the NASDAQ, which we don't have, we'd be looking for shorts. The S&P 500 has given me an efficient candle short. Guys, the only way that I could trade the S&P short is I've got the buyers moving back into the market and then picking up a short. I can't actually send the S&P 500 traders short, guys, until I get a reasonable little retrace there. We are, yeah, look, guys, we're right into that. We're right into that buy zone, guys, for the S&P 500 traders. Now, if you're a little bit aggressive, guys, on NASDAQ, if you're a little bit aggressive, these guys have literally sold down to the pre-top, guys, and the weekly high, which are relatively soft pivots. They've sold down to these evil twins, which I'm actually more interested in. So if you are a single touch reversal trader on NASDAQ, you may have looked for an entry over the top of that 76.8 Fibonacci. Now, if you have done that, and guys, and there's nothing wrong with that, if you trade aggressively, look for the market to either fail or dominate that 50 fib. If we can dominate above that 50 fib, this could be the turning point for both American markets. So for the slightly more advanced guys, slightly more advanced S&P 500 traders, guys, this is effectively where we may be buying the market from, right? If you want to be absolutely aware or absolutely sure that they're going to be buying the market, guys, wait for closed candle signals, and then you'll be in a better place, right? No doubt about that. Now, we are certainly, guys, for the Europeans, we're at a turning point, guys, on the European market. What do I mean by that? If the buyers can get back above, guys, back above and hold above this cluster of black diamond deltas, so buy signal, buy signal, buy, all of this cluster of buy signals, as if we can get back above, these buy signals and then hold, then it is likely that they're going to try and push back to the upper OSR. Okay, so they're going to try and go back towards the upper OSR. All right, now, if that is the case, guys, we're looking for these guys to push back through, get over the top of the previous pivot. Guys, so if you are long on FDAX, guys, this is an OSR style trade. So I do want you, guys, as a first port of call to try and hold this trade to the 100% extension, which is just here. So literally hiding in there. As if you can hold the trade up to there, that is an absolutely monstrous, guys. That's a monstrous effort. The FDAX may decide, guys, it wants to try and move to the upper OSR. If it can do that, guys, that would be incredible for everybody. The danger we face, guys, is the FESX may get to its upper OSR early, and then the FDAX goes, you know what, I've gone far enough. Okay, so anybody that is long, guys, on the FDAX on this delta just here, what I meant, this delta here, that delta here, you might be long, guys, on the static bar reversal. I prefer the deltas at this point in time because the maths behind them is really, really, really strong. A number of you, though, taking the SBR, and that's fine. As if you are long on that, and if these guys are going to keep going long, we need the FDAX to get above and hold above the previous pivot. Okay, this is obviously a really, really lovely buying campaign. If we can get, guys, up there, that would be incredible. Now, if the FESX, guys, this is going to affect everybody. If the FESX gets up to its upper OSR, guys, in this candle and then fails to go any further, then we might see another reciprocal, really, really heavy sell down. So we're just looking for the confirmation of those efficient candles. At this stage, Nazi, it would be amazing if the S&P got back over the top of its 50 fib. Guys, it'd be great if it can get back over the top of the pre-top. Any S&P traders that trade climactic reversals, you may have picked up a climactic reversal long. Guys, that was the 15-minute chart climactic trade. They've literally come down here, created a lower low, come back down. You may have picked that up. Guys, if you have, we've just got to be quick on risk control today. We've just got to be quick on risk control. Let me just have a look. Diane, you picked up off the SBR. Well done. That's a great trade. So FDAX, it's another trade done. Notice, guys, on the FDAX, if you just wait for the volatility to calm down, it actually becomes really tradable, even with a complete banshee opening candle like what we got today. It's literally complete banshee technical trading term, of course. Now, a couple of Fibonacci's going on here. That is not a 4-point turning bar long, guys, on FDAX, but it is a very, very strong candle. As it is a very, very strong candle. Again, the FESX is literally stopped shy of its upper OSR. So the FDAX may push a little bit higher. As the FDAX may push a little bit higher. As in, if it does, that'd be absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. It means that we're reading the market really well. The delta, guys, the delta over the top, eyes on the FDAX, that delta is valid based on the strength of the leading candle. So it is 100% valid. Now, if you are on the delta, guys, you want to try and hold that delta as long as you possibly can. Do I have any FDAX traders that are long for really, really long range targets, guys? Okay, anyone that are long for long range targets? NASDAQ, I haven't got permission to trade you just yet. FDAX is clearly a walk in the park today. Diane, well done, sweetheart. You've done really, really well. So brilliant. Fred's over KPI as well, which is brilliant. Have I got anybody long, guys, on the FDAX over the top of this candle? Guys, I have gone long over the top of the candle. I've picked up a +5. Guys, it might be a +6. So not exactly stunningly impressive, but we've gone okay. For the FDAX now, we are looking for a really, really sustained sell down. As we're looking ideally for a really, really heavy sustained sell down and a lovely buy. As if we do get well below the previous pivot here, well below the previous pivot, there may be a previous pivot reversal over the top here. Okay, that Fibonacci can go. As we don't need that one anymore. What was my 348, guys? I picked up a 7, it looks like. I picked up a 7 point. So only $348, guys, at this point in time. $348 in profit for me at this stage. All right, so nowhere near where we were yesterday. But again, we've been handed quite a crazy open, which is just manageable. Okay. Now we're going to see a turn, guys. We might see a really, really lovely turn here on the NASI. Have I got any NASDAQ traders that are long, guys, over the top of the 76s after they sold down and caught you at the pre-top and the 76s? Guys, now if you are long on this one, guys, some of the NASDAQ traders may already be long. If you are long on that, you're going to try and hold that for 15 minutes, please. Yeah, okay, well done, guys. If you're long on that, well done, well done. You're going to try and hold it for 15 minutes. Ideally, you would want to try and hold it up for 15 minutes because of the climactic 15-minute chart reversal. All right, now for the FDAX traders, if I did have somebody long, guys, on long range targets, you'd be looking to try and trade the FESX, guys, to the upper OSR. Okay, the upper OSR. FDAX, the chance of it getting to the upper OSR, guys, that is a just completely massive move to the high side, completely massive move. We won't get rid of that Fibonacci just yet, but that is a completely crazy move. All right, here we go. Americans, guys, we may be getting efficient candles to the high side on both American markets. All right, what I can do is I can potentially get rid of that Fibonacci there. Let's have a look at what the 4-hour charts are doing. Right, so a lower low on the 4-hour chart, as it looks like they might be trying to move back into the 4-hour longs. The 60-minute chart, what have we got here? Failed break short. Yeah, okay. So what we want to do, guys, what we want to do at this point in time, we're looking for longs on both the NASDAQ and the S&P 500. Guys, I'm looking for a structured retrace and a structured rejection. MJ, you got +5 off the delta. Well done, mate. That's fantastic. All right, that's exactly what we want to do with the delta. As if we were on the next candle, FDAX, if we were to get a sell down, goes back below the previous pivot, we're looking for a previous pivot reversal. If we do get a bit of a dive in the market down here, we're looking to try and pick up the deltas down the bottom. All right, now I'll put a circle. I'll put a circle around, let's say, 2 of the deltas. Okay. Okay, I think everyone's had an opportunity to potentially trade a delta, and if so, it's gone really, really well. Okay, NASDAQ, what we're looking for, guys, we've got the close that we want. So all I'm looking for, guys, on NASDAQ is a little bit of selling, guys, a little bit of selling. I would love to pick up that black diamond delta over the top of the candle. I would love to see a bit of selling, guys. That both S&P. Okay, both S&P and NASDAQ have given us strong candles. They've gapped to the high side. So if you do trade deltas, guys, you're looking for a long at 492.75, 492.75. If you are going to go long, guys, at 492.75, your volatility is high enough, guys, to potentially support 10 tick targets very easily. 20 tick targets would be a lot more fun. Nice. Let me just do a quick check here. Hold on one sec. Okay, that is a 10 tick, guys. That is a 10 tick. So if you're being really, really careful on the NASDAQ, guys, your volatility is at 34, which means a 1/3 of that, guys, a very, very easy target to achieve. If the S&P does decide to get a bit of a wriggle on, guys, if we do get a wriggle on, then the NASDAQ is going to go a little bit further. So I want you to try and hold it as best as you can. I do want to work out where your counter Fibonacci's are. As ideally, guys, because of the strength of this candle, I do want you to go for slightly longer range targets, like 20s would be fine, guys, on this one. You just want to make sure you're controlling your risk around about the 16 tick mark. All right, so 16 ticks into profit. You're looking to reduce your risk. That is a 20 tick first target for the junior traders. We do want them, guys, we do want them to get up there really early in the candle. Right? S&P 500 has also given us a valid buy signal. Guys, let's look at the counter Fibonacci on the S&P 500. Okay, what we've got to be aware of, guys, if the S&P pushes up to that 50 fib, right? S&P pushes up to the 50 fib and the NASDAQ hasn't gone through your 20 tick target already, guys, it's definitely gone through a 16 tick risk control point. It's gone through a 10 tick target. It hasn't got to 20 ticks. Guys, it hasn't got to a 20 tick target yet. FDAX at this stage, you guys are going to be very, very careful. Guys, very, very careful about taking a new long. Okay, what we're looking for at this stage, is what we're looking for at this stage. I'm going to run a Fibonacci up here to catch them on the way down. Okay, I want Fibonacci structure over here on FDAX. Let me just get rid of that dot. If we were, this is the sell down, guys, we were expecting on the European market because, hello, hey presto, FESX couldn't get through its OSR. All right, so if you're going to be buying the FDAX, well done, Keith, nice work. Giz, nice work. MJ, well done. If we are going to buy the FDAX again, guys, I would suggest it would be smart to not buy in the last 90 seconds of the candle, which is 8 seconds from now. We would also want to make sure we get a second tier reversal over here. All right, so we want the sellers to push down. We want the sellers to push down. We want them to get well below our entry point. It would be incredible if we got low enough, guys, to pick up that static bar reversal there. Okay. So that means we sell down, we literally sell down below that horizontal 50 there, and then we're looking for an entry on the 50 at 247. Again, if we have a look at what the FESX is doing, it looks like they're pushed down to the pre-bottom and failed. So that is ideally setting up a long range reversal long, guys, for the European-based traders. Now, with all that said, guys, NASDAQ traders, if you are long on the trade, guys, if you are long on the trade, we're looking for either a 10 tick target or a 20 tick target, or it's triggered your ATM. It could be a touch 16, pay 10, and it might have taken you out with slight profit. Do I have anybody? Mari, you got a 16 and a 50. Okay, so well done. Okay, you've gone off this efficient candle down here. Okay, fantastic. Mate, well done. If I've got anybody long, guys, anybody long on the NASDAQ candle, right, we want to hold the trade. S&P, identical trade for the S&P traders. For the NASDAQ, I want to try and hold it for 15 minutes. We do have to pay attention to that level just there. If we get much beyond that level, guys, it's looking pretty good until Actually, it's looking pretty good until the 76s, personally. So we won't be able to take the NASDAQ much further than where it is. 23500, beautiful round number, mate, beautiful round number. Okay, FDAX traders, you're waiting for the candle to close. That has occurred. All right, what we're now looking for the FDAX traders, all right, I'm definitely looking for a lower low. I was definitely looking for a lower low. What we're looking for is we're looking to seed that delta there, guys, at 244. So again, I want the sellers to sell down. I want the sellers to sell down. Then I want to go long at 244. Don't run without us, please. Thank you. Right, I want a lower low, guys. I want the sellers to sell down, fail badly. We're going to pick up the long at 244 and send it long. Now, S&P traders who are long, I see, guys, we waited for the dual market signals that I spoke about at the start of the session. If the S&P 500 traders are long, guys, your volatility is down. So you'd be looking for a 4-tick first target, an 8-tick second target, a 12-tick third target, guys, or even a 4-tick first target, and then we're going to go for 20 ticks on the second target. You guys are looking to try and trade the S&P 500 all the way up here. That'd be brilliant. So NASDAQ traders who are still long, guys, if you're long on the delta here, you guys are looking at now, you're around about 30 ticks into profit. We've got to watch these 76 fibs. If you guys get caught at the 76 fibs, we're not going to go short. Guys, we're simply going to reduce the exposure on our long trade. Okay, so we're not going to go short off these 76 fibs just yet. Guys, we would need to push a long way through the 76 fibs. We would need agreement from the S&P 500, which we currently don't have. Okay, we currently don't have that. So for the NASDAQ traders who are long off that black diamond delta, okay, as we said, guys, entry point was exactly 492.75. If you're long on that one, guys, I want you to try and hold the trade, as I said, for up to 15 minutes. Because at this stage, if you've got that kind of approach to trading, you've gone through your first target, you've limited your risk so you can't lose any money on the trade. Now we're looking to try and get a really, really good second target out of the trade, guys. So your risk to reward ratio at this stage, guys, let's say you're pushing for a 40 to 50 tick target. You've already made money on the trade and your stop loss is at -1. Just for mathematics, guys, your risk to reward is 30 to 40 times in your favor, which is an absolute no-brainer. Okay, FDAX. Guys, we've just got to keep a super close eye, guys, super close eye on our little FESX down the bottom here. Again, we've now got a lower low. Guys, we've now got a lower low. I was looking for a lower low, guys, really early in the candle. If these guys want to keep selling, right, so NASDAQ has literally reversed off those 76s, guys. So I hope for the NASDAQ traders, guys, you've made profit on all of your trades. Good. Beck. Awesome. Beck, you're probably long from the climactic stuff down the bottom here, potentially. If so, even more fun. Yeah. All right, Beck, we need you on the microphone. No, you're doing a better job than I am, which is great. For the S&P traders, wouldn't that be amazing, guys? Wouldn't it be amazing? 50 tick total on NQ. I'm done for the day. Petros, well done, mate. Well done. Run away. Come back tomorrow and rock and roll. 50 ticks, mate. That's a great result. So I'd say well done to you. Again, guys, we're in the last 90 seconds, guys. So no new trades at this stage. I'll bet you'd be amazing on the mic. It's not hard, Bex. You've just got to follow. Just got to follow Plan Beck. You've just got to follow Plan Beck. All right, now, guys, MJ's gone short, guys, under that efficient FDAX candle. Again, that's a valid trade. It's got a 2 rating underneath it. Sorry, 2 rating over the top. That is a valid trade, no question. At this stage, guys, everything is going to melt down if the FESX goes below its OSR here. Okay, so if we close below that in 48 seconds, then we're basically looking at these guys falling to yesterday's low. They may get caught at the 150%. Once they may get caught at the 150. What are we looking at, guys? So we're 40 minutes into the session already. If there's any questions at all, any questions at all, let's sweep them now. YouTube, AJ, when did I trade? I got the Delta V2. I got the Delta V2 Black Diamond trades coming back the other way. Great question. Lunshaw, how are you? YouTube. Mate, OSR is a set of indicators that's established by the market every day. So we get a brand new set of indicators a brand new set of pivots every single day. The market does what it does. And it works beautifully on market opens. Mate, great question. Now, guys, any questions in the LTR, of course, for the FTX traders, if we do get a lower low here, if we do get a lower low, then we're looking for 76 fib reversals. Yeah, so Adrian, black diamond deltas to get a 7. So I've got questions coming through YouTube. This is the first time I've done YouTube officially, guys. Yesterday was a practice. But the feedback we actually got yesterday was really good. So again, I'm looking at doing that European Open every Wednesday, guys. Every Wednesday, the goal is to just spread the word globally. Let people come and look at what we do and realize that we generally get it right more than we get it wrong, which I think is a massive compliment. Now, FTX traders, if we did get, let's look. So we've failed at the OSR, guys, down here on FESX. So that was looking really strong. Now it's failed badly. What does it ultimately mean? Do I have any NASDAQ traders who are still long, or did everybody get out at these 76 fibs? Have I got anyone that's still long, holding long? I know Beck is probably still long, holding long. Is anybody holding long, guys, on the NASDAQ for the full 15 minutes? FTX, guys, I was looking for a seller push down to go long over these 76s. Guys, that's what I was looking for, particularly if these guys fail. We've just received another earthquake warning. So literally, did you guys hear the siren go off on my phone? Okay, the earthquake's gone off 40 kilometers from where we are, 40 Ks. That's getting a little bit closer. That's a little bit closer. It's only a 3.9. It's only a 3.9. But it's 40 Ks from here. No, Jürgen, it's okay, mate. It's okay. We live in an earthquake-proof house. So the house is full. If people come into the house and they're like, "Oh, why are all the rooms so small?" Because it's an earthquake house. You can't have big rooms. You can't have big rooms in an earthquake zone because the big rooms are structurally weak, I've been told. So lots of little rooms. It's great for hide and seek for the kids. They love it. But there is a reason why we have small rooms. And it's also good, Jürgen, it's also good for heating in winter, guys. You don't have to heat a whole house. You just heat a tiny little room. Okay, now what have we got, guys? We're around 40. There goes another earthquake, all right? So that one is same distance, guys, 40 kilometers away, 3.9. So something's rocking and rolling, right? Something's rocking and rolling. Now, for the FTX traders, we're going to be trading, guys, into the last 15 minutes, all right? So for everyone on FTX, you know, guys, that the success rate on FTX will drop by around about 70% in the last 15 minutes. Now, again, the only exception to that would be a really, really strong pivot-based reversal or a really, really strong Fibonacci-style reversal. At this stage, guys, the NASDAQ traders who are long for 15 minutes, guys, your long is looking really good at this point in time. So you guys are sitting at now sort of 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Do I have anyone long on the NASDAQ, guys, that's holding long? Like holding long? As we said at the start of the session, that the first trade we get is going to be the one. Okay, yeah, not surprised, MJ, not surprised at all. So for the FTX, guys, if we get a 4-point turning bar, so mathematically perfect signal, we need a sell down and a retracement, and we're going to go long. As for the NASDAQ traders who are long, guys, you've literally gone 20, 30, 40, 50. So if you went long, guys, for 20s and 50s, you reduce your risk for the 50 tick target, guys, when it went through to 20s. You're in a reasonably good place. Guys, you're in a reasonably good place. For the NASDAQ traders, guys, we're not going to go short because the S&P 500 doesn't agree. Beck is still long. Beck's on the S&P 500. As if you are, Bex, you're going to try and trade it through to those red Fibonacci's just there. Right, so a really, really good little target zone or risk reduction zone, Beck. Maybe a risk reduction zone would be very, very smart. Okay, FDAX has given us, mathematically, we've got a 4-point turning bar. So mathematically, we do have a 4-point turning bar. What does that ultimately mean? Again, I would love to see a little bit of a seller retrace. A little bit of a seller retrace. As we are in the last 15 minutes, if you are going to buy the FDAX, as we want to sell a retrace, as we do want to sell a retrace, we want the buyers to then absolutely smack the sellers. As just a warning, we are in the last 15 minutes. As again, you would want a really, really lovely sell down and then a very aggressive buy come through. As a note, the FESX has come back to its pre-bottom, which is a pivot. So the FDAX traders might not like, they might not like that. Hence the reason why you'd want a really lovely deep retrace on the FDAX and a very violent rejection. So sellers still own the stair step. Right? Sellers still own the stair step on the FDAX. What does that mean? Buying base reversals are on. The black diamond deltas on the left-hand side. Guys, if you do trade the last 15 minutes, they are tradable, but please only go for 5-point targets. We're right in that danger zone on the FDAX where they can get a little bit cranky and ultimately not do what we want them to do. Mark, yeah, absolutely correct, guys. So the SP 500 has come through and tapped a pivot as well. So for those people that picked up the climactic reversal, come on FDAX, go one more, sweetheart. I dare you to touch. Oh, I was going to say, I dare you to touch 257. Okay, so for those that have gone long on the FDAX, guys, that's actually gone very, very well. So if you've gone long on the FDAX, guys, well done. Guys, I'm now sitting at 666.87 US, guys, with a 5-point first target and an ATM. MJ got the same result you did. So guys, I've gone long on the FDAX on the Black Diamond Delta after the retrace, guys. I picked up a 5 and then an ATM of 2. All right, so a 5 and a 2 as opposed to 5 and 5, which is a little bit annoying, guys. But it has added, guys, a solid chunk of loose change. Solid chunk of loose change. So I hope to everyone I was clear enough. Well, FDAX, 4-point turning bar, wait for the deep retrace, wait for the rejection, pick up a black diamond delta long, hold it for 5 points. Guys, if you can hold it for 5 points, you're in a good, you're in a great spot, guys. You're in a great spot. Oh, FDAX, why don't you keep going now, sweetheart? Wouldn't that be great? Tap me out at my ATM. Mind you, guys, I'm not going to get cranky. Tap me out at the ATM and then go. Of course, of course. For those watching, guys, the 4-point turning bar, so mathematically incredible signal. That's a 4-point turning bar there. One of the strongest reversal signals in the world. All right, so one of the strongest. No question about that at all. And we've almost got a matching signal here on the FESX. Guys, and we started the session today, guys, saying dual chart trading will win the game today. There is no doubt. All right, so we're tracking okay, guys. So again, just for everybody, 666. It's a pretty ominous number, isn't it? So I might need one more trade. At 666.87. Let's round that up to 667. Guys, so we're not carrying the 666 number. Guys, anyone know about the 666 number? Apparently it's not the devil's number. Guys, apparently it's not the devil's number. Since very, very early on in the game, I've been told, oh, 666, it's the work of the devil. Apparently it's not. I didn't. Yeah, there we go, Jürgen. So I'm doing research on it at the moment, mate. Apparently it's been rebadged. So I'll do some more research and I'll come back to you on it. Petros, there you go. It's in the Revelations. It's the number of the Antichrist. Okay. I think we could call the Antichrist the devil, couldn't we? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Guys, I did go to a religious school. You're done well, Beck. Okay, KPI hit. Well done. Right, so Beck's picked up the climactic reversal long we spoke about, guys, on the 15-minute chart. So down around here. It was really, really good fun. The NASDAQ trade of the day, guys, is the Delta. We were basically looking for permission to trade, and that's gone okay. FDAX, you've had a far easier session today than anybody else. We just had to wait for this crazy candle to run out of steam, guys, and then we were able to start hunting for reasonable trades. Beck, you got 2 times 8 at 12 and a 23. Petros, you're on the money, mate. You're on the money. Jürgen, I'm gonna have to do some more research on it. More research. Now, guys, we're in the last 15 minutes of the hour, so no brand new trades. The only exception was obviously the FDAX reversal that we've already spoken about. That's gone okay. Sellers still own the stair step, guys, on FDAX, so we're looking for buying-based trades. Buyers own the stair step on both US markets. Guys, buyers own the step, so we're looking for selling-based trades. We need agreement from both of those markets. And may I suggest, guys, the turn of the hour trade is probably going to be the best for the NASDAQ traders. And we're going to keep a very close eye. Remember that little SBR, guys? So you see the label there, the minus 24. That's the one we're going to keep an eye on for the turn of the hour. Beck, well done, Del. Great to see positive results again. So we'll see you tomorrow. Awesome. But don't forget the global hubs on tomorrow night, guys. So you got your hub. I'm going to guide you through the new features on the website. Guys, for those that are not aware, would anybody like to do that very quickly now, guys? We can't get another trade. Would anybody like to see that? Again, this is all, I'm just going to go and grab it for you. This is all designed to help your trading journey, guys. It's all being put together to do that. So let me grab this for you. Okay, what I want you to do, guys, if you're keen to do some homework, guys, so normal website, come to the About, guys, and you'll see there's Trading Psychology 101, Trading Psychology Mastery, guys, 10 most important lessons for beginner traders, how to trade the NASDAQ properly, how to trade the S&P properly, NASDAQ trading plans, S&P trading plans, guys. It's all there on the website. It's all there on the website, ready to rock and roll. So, guys, I'll bring that in for you guys into the hub tomorrow. There's more information, guys, being added to the back end of the website at the moment. So, again, if you do need a hand with psychology, particularly if you need a hand with your trading psychology, that Trading Psychology 101, guys, I wrote that myself with the intent of helping everybody move forward. Tio, it would be amazing for you to go and read Trading Psychology 101 and then link to Trading Psychology Mastery. Guys, it's all free. There's no catches. You don't get like 3/4 of the content. Then you got to go and buy the other stuff. It's none of that crap. Guys, we just don't do it. We just don't do it. And we roll from there. So yeah, you're going to have a read, guys. Particularly Trading Psychology 101. You can link to the other. Pages from the bottom of Psych 101. So you can go to Psych Mastery. You go and have a play, guys. Go and have a play. I showed a number of the samurai traders last night, and I was really excited because they found a typo. Hate typos, but they found a typo for me. Well, Jürgen, the goal is to make 1,000 millionaires. Right? That's the goal. So that would be $1 billion impact on the world. So I'm going to be first. Super G second. Super G is doing very well, so he's second. So we've got Jürgen wants to be third. Listen, guys, look, why not? I mean, why not? Running the live trading room, everyone can take these trades. It doesn't matter where you are in the world. Just because someone gets a trade doesn't mean that I miss out on the trade. And I think it's a really, really exciting thing for us to do. Well, it's just an exciting thing to do. Oh, yes, Murray, you definitely better go. Yes. So anyone out there, if it is your wife's birthday today and she doesn't like you being in the trading room, definitely a good idea to probably go and have dinner. Absolutely correct. I found, guys, in my journey, it's only 17 years, but I found in my journey that if family gets in the way of trading, trading loses. So you've got to try and do your best. You've got to try and do your best to keep everybody as happy as you possibly can. There's a nice little balance. Is always good fun. So Fred had a blinder, mate. So what Fred has done, so guys, Adrian on YouTube is asking the question. So what Fred has done, mate, see this 40 rated, so see that 40 rated static bar reversal long? What Fred does is he enters off the body. Yeah, thank you, Mark. He enters off the body of the static bar reversal. Okay, so what Fred has done is he's waited for this Banshee sell down. All right, now, again, can you see here that they've failed? I've got them failing at that 61.8 Fibonacci. Let me get rid of that one for you. Right, so they've failed at the Fibonacci on the opening candle. That normally sets a very, very powerful resistance level in the market. Hence the reason we've got the OSR on just here. So what Fred has done is he's waited for them to sell back down to that level again, and then he's bought the market as a double failure reversal. And then he's waited for them to come down, create a lower low, produce this 40 rated long. Then he's waited for the sellers on the next candle, then gone long on the body of the candle. Now that is a kind of an American open, American close style approach. It works really, really well on the Europeans. Most of the European traders will wait for the static bar reversal to set like this one, and they'll enter either on the delta or outside the range of the candle just there. It doesn't matter where you entered that trade, you actually ended up with the same result, which is obviously a very, very good result, nice profitable result. Fred went for 5, 10, and 20. Right? So went for 5, 10, and 20. So that's 35 points. So 35 points times 40 Aussie dollars per point. So it's a $1,400 trade, and he's done it, I think, 3 times. So not a bad little trade. The key to that, these deltas, these black diamond deltas outside the range of the static bar reversal, this is where all the institutional traders are placing their orders in the market. So the moment we see all the sellers failing, all we do is just copy the institutional orders. So literally when they sold back down again, MJ was copying these orders. I mean, that's the trade I took. I waited for these guys to sell back down. Then I entered the delta, over here, sorry. Waited for them to sell back down, then I picked up the delta, turned around and sent it back the other way. So that's what Fred has done today, but he's picked up 3 monster winning trades, which is wonderful. So 3 times 1,400 Aussie, 3 times 1,400 Aussie, which is not too bad, not too bad. Yeah, guys, and Fred's just mentioned, so I'm talking to Fred in the LTR and Adrian on YouTube. Fred had very, very low risk on those trades. So the advantage, guys, the advantage of entering a static bar reversal, okay, on the body of the candle. So this has got a 40 rating. I mean, that's ridiculous. The advantage of entering on the body of the candle is that by the time we even get to these black diamond deltas, Fred's already through his first target. His risk is 0, and he lets the profit run. So by entering outside the range of the candle, you carry more risk. You run at a higher success rate. Entering on the body, slightly lower success rate, but you carry less risk. So we're balancing both risk and success rate. So Adrian, mate, great question. Great question. So as we are 90 go, Fred, well done, mate. Yeah, MJ, that's a great question. I said in the LTR, Fred's been asked what ATM does he use. I'd love to know. We're always comparing notes, because at the end of the day, guys, if you're trading futures, no one competes with anybody else to make money. If you're trading Forex, holy moly, is that a different game? That's why there's no Forex traders here. I don't want to be rude, but that's why there's no Forex traders here. Okay, so for the FDAX, guys, what have we got? 1, 2, 3. Sellers still own the stair step. We're looking for buying base reversals. We've got 50 seconds, guys, until this candle closes. Right on the turn of the hour, guys, right on the turn of the hour, we've got red flag news coming through. Okay, so we've got red flag news coming through, guys. So we'll just watch what it does. It's normally not that impactful. For the S&P 500 traders, guys, you're looking for the buyers to push through. You're looking for a previous pivot reversal. Okay, PP reversal. For the NASDAQ, you're looking for the buyers to push through. You're looking for that static bar reversal over there on the left-hand side. Guys, that is also a 141.4 fib extension. Guys, now that's asking a fair bit. Guys, that's asking a fair bit for the NASDAQ. Yeah, that's asking a fair bit. FDAX, guys, we need to close over the top of the previous pivot, which we've just failed to do. So we wanted to close over the pivot in order to take another long, goes again over the top. Okay, now at this point in time, I'm looking for a higher high, guys, on the NASDAQ to go short. I'm looking for a higher high on the S&P to go short. For the FDAX, I'm looking for the sellers to push down, guys, the sellers to push down again. Guys, it would be amazing if the sellers could get under this delta here, or that delta there, or that delta there. All right, these guys are right in on the knife edge. You've basically got the FESX caught between the pre-bottom, guys, and the 50 of the day. FDAX, please don't run without us, Sterling. Do not, guys, FDAX traders, do not take that black diamond delta long. It's assuming a close over a pivot. Okay, so now these guys might run without us, guys. If they do that, that's okay, guys. We're not going to take a trade that is not our that's not in our trading algorithm. NASDAQ traders, you just got a higher high. S&P 500, you just got a higher high. Ideally, guys, the only trade on offer at the moment for the NASDAQ is very, very tight to the top of the MDI here. It's very, very, very tight. So the only trade that I would recommend, we need to get well above that static bar reversal entry point, and then we're looking for a short with a short range target. If we push up to the previous pivot, that would be even more fun. That would be even more fun. Fred, thank you, guys. So Fred's running coaching tonight, guys, Wednesday night. It's on signal pattern recognition with some Fibonacci. So for those of you who are in weekly coaching, guys, Fred's going to be doing signal pattern recognition, guys, with some Fibonacci. That is a really good lesson for you guys to attend. So, mate, well done, Fred. You've done very, very well. For the NASDAQ traders, guys, we're looking for exactly the same matching signals here. So if we push through, guys, if we push through the previous pivot on the NASDAQ, it's set up a really, really short range short. Guys, really short range short. Europe may be turning now, guys. If Europe is turning, then the NASDAQ is going to be a little bit difficult to trade. Now I've got the S&P 500 climactic, guys. I'm even more interested in a short range short on the NASDAQ. Your volatility is 29, guys, which means your first target and risk control points are only going to be 10 ticks, or your risk control point can be 10 if you're going to try and go for a longer range target. I'm just looking for that definitive push up and fail. Guys, the little static bar reversal on the left-hand side, we've just gone high enough to trade that. If you are going to trade that, if that's your trading style, guys, your entry point is 05.75. 05.75. Okay, and we want the buying on the FDAX to stop. Now, for the NASI traders, if you are not in a trade already, you've just crossed over into the last 90 seconds. So please don't take a new trade now. All right, so no new trades. If you're not already in the trade, just wait for the first 90 seconds. Guys, or wait for, I should say, the candle to close, and then we'll have another crack at it again. For the FDAX, we can't take the black diamond delta long because we're assuming a close over a pivot. Guys, at this point in time for the FDAX, if they go 1 point higher, guys, so literally if we touch that price point right there, the buyers will have stolen the stair step. They've just done it. Guys, so that means that buying base reversals are now off because the buyers own the stair step. Okay, buyers own the stair step. So again, as for the FDAX traders, the next really obvious trade, guys, I can get rid of a Fibonacci here. The next really obvious trade is going to be, let me get rid of this as well. Okay, let me get rid of that. The next really, really obvious trade, guys, is going to be a long as an efficient candle trader. All right, so we're in a 15-minute chart, static bar reversal long. I've got two 15-minute charts on. I don't know how I managed that. Let's get rid of one of those. So we are in a 15-minute chart, SBR long. Guys, we would need efficient candles in that one. All right, so the FX traders, you need efficient candles, which is exactly what you haven't got. It's exactly what you haven't got. Therefore, I can't send you long. I can't send you short. I can't do anything with you at this point in time. All right, so FX traders, you've got to cool your heels for a moment. Now, for the NASDAQ traders, some of you may have gone short, guys, under the previous pivot. Now, again, guys, I'm going to bring your 10-tick box up. You're looking for a 10-tick first target and risk control point. As it's not very sexy, as it's not very sexy, but it is still algorithmically correct. It's algorithmically correct. Your spot that you want to be testing for the NASDAQ will be the 50 fib of this tiny little micro trend just here. So I'm going to draw my Fibonacci up to catch them on the way down. And that 50 fib, guys, is exactly where we would expect the buyers to be tested. Right, so if you are short on the NASDAQ, guys, if you did wait for the push up, you waited for the higher high, waited for the PP failure, and you've gone short, guys, you can try and hold that short. In fact, question for everybody, Mark, you picked up a negative on the SBR reset. Okay, all right. Do I have any traders that are short, guys? You waited for the higher high. Anybody that's gone short under the previous pivot? Okay, so Akito is short under the previous pivot. Tio, well done. Keith, well done. Okay, awesome, awesome. This turn of the hour trade, guys, definitely make sure we wait for a higher high before we take the trade. Okay, Anna's short on this one as well. So what we want to do, guys, is, again, if I was short, based on your volatility at this point in time, okay, we've got our higher high, we've got our ratios, we've got our pivots, we've got everything. You're going to try and hold the short down to these 76 fibs as the first port of call. Let me just double check the 15-minute chart. Yes, you are. So you've just gone and reloaded 15-minute chart static bar reversals. Goes, so if we get much lower, 501, if we get to 501, they're going to have a bit of a wriggle on. All right, but anyone that's gone short, guys, if you've gone short for a 10-tick target or a 20-tick target, well done. If you've gone short, and you're going for a 20-tick target and a 50-tick target, just make sure you've got no risk on the 50-tick target now. So the market can't take any money away from you. So your risk to reward is now probably, let's say you got a 40-tick target with a -1 stop. Guys, your risk to reward is 40 times in your favor now, and you've already made money on the first contract, right? What I would definitely be doing, guys, because we're trading back into the top of the trend indicator on both US markets, guys, is make sure you've locked in profit. Right? So don't have a stop hanging negative. That just does not make sense ever. So if you're short under the PP, guys, you might look to bring your stop loss into +10. So you can't lose any money on the trade. We're just going to try and let these sellers push down, guys, to the black line. If we touch the black line, that's a 15-minute chart static bar reversal short. They're either going to trigger that SBR. They're trying to trigger it at the moment. Come on, keep going, please. Keep going. So they're going to try and trigger the 15-minute short. And if they trigger the 15-minute short, if they can get through these 76s, they are going to go further. So for the NASI traders, look at this. I've just missed a trade on FDAX. As buyers own the stair step, guys, you could 100% be short under the 50 of the day. So buyers own the stair step. We're looking for, I did say we're looking for selling based reversals. Did any FDAX trader pick up that short? Guys, I'm trying to get the NASDAQ traders as much profit as, okay. If you happen to pick up the short, guys, if you happen to pick up the short on the 55th of the day, guys, the key is the buyers own the stair step. They've gapped under the pivot. We can only go short. We can't go long. They've run up here, hit a level, and then come back down again. Okay. All right. So we are, guys, we are looking now for a short on, FDAX. It'll be a static bar reversal short, provided we hold under the pre-bottom, guys. We must stay under the pre-bottom. Right, back to the NASDAQers. I know I've got NASDAQ traders who are still short. You guys have just triggered a 15-minute short. I know I've got S&P 500 traders who are short as a climactic reversal. So S&P traders, if you're short, you're going for 4s, 8s, and 12s. NASDAQ traders, you're going for either 10 and 50 or 20 and 50. The previous pivot trade has already gone 10, 20, 30, 40. It's a whisker off 50 ticks at this point in time. So that Fibonacci, guys, has run out of steam. Oh, here we go. Here we go. All right. So those that are short on the NASDAQ, well done, guys. It's gone 20s and 50s or 10s and 50s. What we're now doing is, oh, look, FDAX static bar reversal short. Oh, my gosh. I hope you're on that. Guys, I hope you're on the static bar reversal short. That is ridiculous. That is ridiculous. For the NASDAQ traders, your brand new Fibonacci looks like that. So again, you guys, you've cruised down to the 50 of the micro trend. So please lock in at least 30 ticks. Guys, please lock in at least 30 ticks profit on the NASDAQ. All right. Now, if I was short on the NASDAQ, guys, I'd be looking for 10s and 50s or 20s and 50s. It's gone 20, 30, 40, 50. It's gone well over 50 ticks to the downside, guys. You got no risk on that 50 tick target whatsoever. Right, so no risk at all. If you are short on the S&P 500, guys, climactic trade, it's gone 4s, 8s, and 12s. So well done. For the NASI traders, guys, I'd love to see your results. That one there is a classic 10 and 50 or 20 and 50, and it's gone 50, guys, well over 50. So massive well done to the NASDAQ traders. And again, guys, if we now get static bar reversals long on both US markets, which we cannot, guys, look at this. The S&P would need to sell down to here in order for the sellers to steal the step to get a static bar reversal long. So for the NASI traders, please lock in at least 30 ticks worth of profit. Please lock in a big fat chunk of profit. And again, that'll be the turn of the hour trade, guys. Once again, for those that want to master that turn of the hour, must wait for the higher high inside the new hour, must wait for the failure at the pivot, and then we look to enter. Okay, so I know that one of you had a slight negative, guys, on the SBR. That's okay, guys. I'll mark it up accordingly. Interesting point, guys. If you waited for this candle to do what it did, and then you took the SBR over here, then it's literally just money for jam the whole way down. Okay. Now, interesting point. Our 60-minute chart was also climactic. Okay, 15 was not climactic. Look at the failure at this 15-minute fib. So what the 15-minute chart traders here, guys, on S&P 500 have done is they've cruised back up, and see this bank of SBRs at the top here. They've literally just come back up and picked up the SBRs and gone short again. So it's literally just a repeating cycle, just over and over and over again, of the same traders doing the same thing every time. Right, how did you go, my love? Oh, very good. Akito's gone really good. I've just been asked, guys, on WhatsApp, what's the real tsunami story? So the news is reporting, guys, ABC News, bless their cotton socks in Australia, are reporting a 3-meter tsunami hits Japan. Guys, it's 30 centimeters. Man, if I was really, really, really wealthy, guys, if I was really wealthy, every time ABC prints an inaccurate article, I'd sue them. Just every time. Sue them. So I'd just sue them every week. It's incredible, the inaccuracy that these government-backed media outlets, it's incredible what they're doing. It wasn't 3 meters, it was 30 centimeters. Did anyone know the difference between 3 meters and 30 centimeters? Anyone know the difference there? I don't want to sound rude. I don't. Jürgen, mathematician, I think it's 2.7 meters. Yeah, my point is, guys, a 30 centimeter tsunami, we couldn't even surf on. As we couldn't even surf on a 30 centimeter tsunami. We couldn't even surf on it. 3 meters, that's different. That's different. All right. So for those guys, for those that are FDAX traders, guys, if you waited for the retrace back up to hit the pivot and you've gone short under the SPR, as per the SPR signal, your entry's at 271, your target's 266. So if I got any FDAX traders that have traded that static bar reversal short, guys, labels at the top, ratios incredible, failure points incredible. I missed the 50 fib reversal, guys, but that's the little backup there. So if you get a pivot-based reversal, you normally end up with an SPR. So if anybody is short on the FDAX, guys, your volatility is okay, your volume's okay. You're looking for a short at 271 or 270 for 5 points, and it's already gone there. Okay. Every time. Geez, I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. Now, what have we got, guys? We're 15 minutes into the second hour. So again, if there's any questions at all, guys, about anything that we've done, please do not be shy. Even those on YouTube, guys, please do not be shy. Guys, I'm going to try and do the live broadcast for you guys on YouTube every Wednesday. Guys, so if you've enjoyed this, guys, I'll schedule next Wednesdays, probably early tomorrow. Guys, you can come and join us again. Guys, come and see what we do. We've had one trader take a negative trade, guys, on the SPR over here. All right, so we had one trader pick up a negative. We've obviously had traders pick up a stack of positives as well, which is good. S&P traders, guys, they basically picked up a stunning long and a really lovely short. FDAX, guys, the way I look at it, I reckon you guys have picked up probably 6 winning trades in a row. Guys, would that be fair, MJ? 6 from 6? Is that fair? I've picked up 2 from 2. So I haven't had a particularly easy day, guys, on the FDAX today, but I have got 2 from 2. Let's add it up, guys. We had the climactic reversal. All right, so cruise through climactic reversal. Fred then picked up the 61.8 fib. Fred then picked up the static bar reversal. Then everybody picked up the deltas. So that's 4 trades. And then they came back down again, picked it up again. Then we picked up the SPR. So yeah. So right, MJ's got 1 negative trade and 5 positives, guys. So we've had 6 trades on the FDAX today. So the FDAX has been a lot easier, guys, than the other markets today. And that's good fun. That's good fun. Now, why is it easier, guys? Some days, why is it easier? Because it's the flavor of the day right now. Everybody's looking at Europe to get guidance on what's going on. Negative was the V2 long, had the stop too close. Okay, man. Okay, cool. Literally 1-2 minute chat with you. Yes, that would have to be about an hour after Petros, an hour after, because I've just got to make sure Fred's coaching gets underway and all of that kind of stuff. But absolutely. So if you are coming to coaching tonight, guys, Fred's doing trading signal recognition and Fibonacci out of the US for you. So that will definitely be worth doing. Looks like Fred's picked up 3 $1,400 Aussie trades today. So I'd say well done, Fred. Well done, Fred. That's a phenomenal result. That's a phenomenal result. So guys, any questions at all? Any questions? The market is slowing down as it normally does, guys, in the last little bit of the European Open. I would expect, guys, today, so watch that, guys, for those that are going to trade a little bit later on, I'm definitely trading later on, guys, because of that US red flag news. So what have you guys got tonight? You've got red flag US news at 9:15 and 9:30 Tokyo time. You've got 9:15 and 9:30 Tokyo time. Question is the SPR long valid? The answer is the SPR is valid provided it's not directly back into a micro 50. What I would prefer for the NASDAQ traders, guys, if we get a sell down, right, what I would prefer the NASDAQ traders to do, if we get a sell down and we get a lower low, as we get a lower low, we're going to try and pick up that complement of deltas just there. That is going to be a lower risk, higher probability trade. No doubt about that. Particularly if we sell down. As if we sell down double tag that 50, then the deltas there are looking more fun. I'd love the S&P 500 to agree. At this point in time, it's thinking about agreeing. So Fibonacci down, guys, and catch them on the way back up. So the static bar reversal is tradable just because you've got the 50 fib of the micro just sitting here. 50 fib of the micro sitting there. What I would prefer, guys, so just watch, we're in the last 90 seconds of the candle. Would be really lovely if these guys sell down, create a lower low, and then get pushed back up the other way. This is actually quite a strong sell candle, guys, that they are quite a strong sell candle that they're trying to create here. And we've got to be just a little bit careful of that. Yes, 100% Ash. You definitely just be careful on NASDAQ, guys. Careful on NASDAQ. We don't want to enter in the last 90 seconds. Okay, that is a very strong selling candle, guys, on both US markets simultaneously. So what it means, guys, if we were to get a glimpse of buyers, can I send you short? I can't send you short, guys. I can only send you long. So what we're looking for at this point in time, if we were to get a sell down on the NASDAQ like this, which is really, really awesome, we're going to try and pick up that static bar reversal over here on the left-hand side. Okay, so the static bar reversal, I'm looking for an entry. As I'm looking for an entry here at 87.75. As we've got to sell below, that entry point to make sure that you can get filled at the right price. Okay, we must sell below that point. It would be amazing if they sold down into Fibonacci. So just let them go, guys. Let them sell. We want them to go well below your entry point and fail. FDAX, guys, your static bar reversal is back on again, guys. You see that Delta V2 short at 271. That Delta V2 short, FDAX at 271 is the institutions now trading the SBR short. So if you are an FDAX trader, guys, if you are an FDAX trader, you've pushed up again, brand new higher high, you might have shorted off the 50 of the day. That SBR is tradable again if you've already got it. Okay. For the NASI, guys, for the NASI traders, guys, what we're doing is we're going to slowly bring our order lower and lower. There's a 6-rated static bar reversal over there on the left-hand side. Now, if you do need another NASDAQ trade, guys, you're looking to trade these older SBRs over here. Thanks off to feed the animals. Well done, Lee. That's fantastic. If the NQ falls below, yeah, exactly right, guys. If we get below 474, which is here, right there, 474. Okay, the NASDAQ is going to absolutely plummet, guys. It's going to tumble to the downside. So what does it mean, guys? If you're waiting for the lower low to be pushed in, guys, which is occurring at the moment, there is a trade, guys. There is a trade sitting over the top of these 76 Fibonacci's. If you are a Fibonacci-based trader, right, your entry, guys, would be at 484. Now, if you're going to go long at 484, guys, promise me you're using a 10-tick risk control point. So if these guys don't bolt to the high side, if they don't bolt, your risk is automatically going to chase the market for you. This looks a lot like both American markets might be trying to fail at the 50 of the day. Guys, we've failed here before, so if they don't fail again, then these guys are going to plummet short. So what does it mean? If you've gone long, guys, at 84, your risk control point is 89, right? If you've gone long, no, sorry, 84. Your risk control, you threw your risk control point already, guys. I find it easier to draw a box on the chart. If you've gone long, guys, over the 76s, all right, your risk control point is sitting there at 86.5. Right? So if you've gone long over the 76s, if you've gone long on the lower of the deltas, guys, I'll bring the box up there. You want the market to definitely go through the top of that box, guys, to make sure we're not going to get caught on the wrong side of a market. All right, so market is sold down, guys. I'll bring the box down here. If you've gone long over the top of the 76 Fibonacci's, then you've already triggered your risk control point. Guys, if you've gone long over the black line, we haven't triggered the risk control point yet. These sellers are currently going climactic. So that means they're using a very, very large amount of volume. We don't want them to go much lower, guys, because as Steve has mentioned, if we get much lower, guys, we could see a really, really heavy sell down. FDAX traders, if you are short on that red diamond delta, it's clearly gone way beyond its target. So you guys should be sitting at 7 from 7 or 8 from 8 now for the FDAX traders. Okay, now if you were just waiting for the higher high, guys, that's not including all of these short trades, guys, off the 50 of the day. All right, so you've done very well. For the NASI, guys, I do want the S&P and the NASDAQ to basically buy back the other way, particularly for those people that are long on that black line. Let's just have a look at what they do. The sellers are failing to push the Europeans down. The sellers are failing to push the NASDAQ down. S&P, guys, I don't want the S&P below the 50 fib of the day. Right? I don't want them below. Otherwise, we might get a little bit of selling pressure. So S&P, guys, I can't send you long. Guys, I can't send you long back into the 50 fib of the day. If you are short from up here, guys, it's obviously gone through the 4s, the 8s, and the 12s, and up to 16. So again, that's absolutely brilliant. For the NASDAQ traders who are long over the top of the 76s, that's your 10-tick box, and you've obviously gone way beyond your risk control point. Guys, I want those that are long on the black line, guys, I don't believe we've touched your risk control point yet. We want these guys to bolt. Guys, we need the buyers to bolt. There's my little box. Now, some of you might be going for longer range targets. Guys, there's nothing wrong with longer range targets, but the moment we look like we're going 10 ticks in favor, I personally would knock my first target off. Guys, I'd knock my first target off. Make sure you've got stop losses in place on this, guys. This is a very, very aggressive movement on the NASDAQ at this stage. So anyone that's gone long on the 76s, you're through your risk control and first target. Well done. If you've gone long on the black line, guys, we have not got to the risk control point. So if we see any buying coming back through, guys, on this NASDAQ now, okay, this will be the third buying campaign. If we do see any sort of robust buying coming through, guys, I'd be starting to move my stop loss into a positive scenario. I'm just trying to get that scenario to occur. The problem we've got, guys, NASDAQ-wise, is the S&P's below the 50 fib. That is going to have a negative effect on the NASDAQ. All right, so again, we're not going to go long again, guys, so please don't go long again off the 76 fibs if you've gone long off them already. Europe is definitely not selling, guys. There's no doubt about that. FDAX, you need a higher high before you get another trade, so please don't take another trade at this stage. Okay, NASDAQ, Now, I'm just assuming, guys, I've got people long on the black line because they didn't go long over the 76s. So just repeating, if you've gone long over the evil twins there, you've gone through your first target and risk control point, or you've gone through your risk control point and therefore you've got no risk on the trade. For the black line trades, we're going to give them about another 31 to 30 seconds. I just give them another 30 or so seconds to show themselves. Guys, just make sure that if you've got a stop loss on that NASDAQ, guys, it's going to be sitting at about the 30 tick mark. So please don't have more than that at risk. I'm just watching, guys. When I go quiet, I'm just watching what they're doing. Now, my assumption, guys, I'm assuming some of you, most of you probably trade off the 76s. If so, you've already gone through your target. Again, I'm just assuming I've got some people long on the black line. If so, you've made sure, guys, your stop loss is sitting as close as possible underneath that orange candle. We've had a really, really good session. If these guys decide to break down, guys, we don't want to take a big stop out. Okay, we don't want to do that. FDAX, no trades. And NASDAQ, I don't think the NASDAQ is going to be very friendly to us because of the S&P 500 under its 50 fib. Okay, no. So that, guys, if you're long on the black line, that is actually a negative trade if you put your stop where I put my stop. The flip side of that, if you went long over the 76s, it's been a positive trade. All right, so we're going to have a couple of different mixed results here. Honest, for those people that are in that trade, that's going to be a slight loss. There's no question about that at all. If the NQ falls below 2421 target to, yeah, so guys, again, I'm just going to get ready for the opposite to occur. These buy signals normally fly to the high side. We've got around 22 seconds left. So what that means, guys, a bit of a pre-brief for what's about to occur. If the NASDAQ closes, I'll get rid of that Fibonacci. If the NASDAQ closes below these pivots here with a nice, efficient, strong candle, guys, you're going to go short and you're going to try and hold it short for around about half an hour. So it's going to be quite a big trade. It's quite a big trade. In summary, FTX, I think we've summarized you guys enough, but you guys have had a really, really good day. So that's fantastic. NASDAQ, what have we got, guys? Absolutely perfect trade over here, perfect trade over here, a reasonable trade, and then potentially a slightly negative trade, but I don't think anybody got it, which is okay. And S&P, you've had a beautiful long, you've had a beautiful short, and they've gone really, really well. So guys, I'm going to love you and leave you. I hope that was good fun. For those that are in the Samurai LTR, you've got coaching starting in 30 minutes with Fred. For those on YouTube, I apologize, guys, you don't have coaching with Fred in 30 minutes. That's for all of those people that subscribe to the live trading room. Guys, have we had fun today? Have we learned stuff? Have we made money is probably the most important thing. Guys, I'm sitting at 666.87 US. So I think that's just a smidge over 1,000 Aussie dollars. So I'm pretty happy with that. Guys, we'll come back tomorrow. Guys, we'll do the same thing again. How about that? All right, guys, have a great night. I hope you're at Magic. Don't forget coaching's on, guys, in around about 30 minutes from now, and we rock and roll from there. Guys, have a great night, and I'll see you soon. Okay, bye for now. Bye, bye, bye.